Hello and welcome to the Potomac and Chesapeake Association for College Admission Counseling College Fair. We're so excited to have you participating in this event. We have some fantastic schools here with us today. Each will have 6 minutes to share more about their institution, but will be around for the entire session to answer questions. My name is Jenny and I will be your facilitator. Before we get started, I have a few housekeeping items. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. However, you can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. This is just one of many different sessions happening, so be sure to check out the schedule on the website. This presentation is being recorded and will be available at strivescan.com/PCACAC. I'd now like to turn it over to our first presenter, SUNY Cortland.
Hey everybody, good evening. Thanks for joining us. Let me just share my screen here really quick. Like she said, I'm Shannon. I work for SUNY Cortland, and we are part of the State University System for New York. We are the largest public university system that the nation has. And we are actually located, hopefully y'all can see my contact info. We're actually located about 5 hours north of Baltimore, about 6 hours north driving from the Fairfax County area, and about 6.5 from the DC area. I'm the regional recruiter for the Mid-Atlantic. So if you have any questions, you can find me at what you see on your screen right now. Again, we are located in about central, a little bit northern New York, kind of like the southern tier. We're about 30 minutes south of Syracuse, or about 20 minutes from Ithaca. We are a Division III athletic program in the NCAA, and our biggest rival for athletics is Ithaca College. So they are located in Ithaca. And then we also send a lot of students to Cornell for vet school. SUNY Binghamton is about 40 minutes south of us. And then Syracuse University and a bunch of other private schools are located in the Syracuse area. This is just an aerial view of campus. That's Old Main. That is the first building and the SUNY Cortland campus. We have about 7,000 total students on campus, about 6,300 undergraduate students. We do have a solid class of about 1,200, maybe a little bit more freshmen that start every August. For transfer students, it's going to be less than that because you have to declare a major as a transfer student. I like to point out that every class at SUNY Cortland is taught by a professor. Although we do have teaching assistants, they could be students who are just really good in that class and one of the professors asks them to be a TA, or it could be someone in one of our education programs that just wants more experience. We do have those TAs, but they maybe hold a review class, but the actual class is taught by the professor. We do have 68 majors here at SUNY Cortland. We have the largest education program in the state of New York. We have one of the largest ed programs in the Northeast. We're also really well known for anything in sport management, coaching, sports studies, the kinesiology department, so exercise science, fitness development. We have a niche archaeology program. We have a really niche musical theater program, which does require an audition. We've got graphic design. And then we have a lot of grad programs for every undergrad education program that we offer. These are just some of the major companies that our students do hands-on learning with, whether it's an internship or something that they found on their own. If an internship is required for your major, then you're going to work with career services and your advisor, and they're going to help you find that. Because we are really well known for our sport management program at SUNY Cortland, we do have a lot of interns and people that work after SUNY Cortland in the professional sports industry. I actually did the Walt Disney World College program internship, which is really great. You get a lot of business credits for that. But you can find all of this on our career services website. We have over 80 clubs and organizations. We have a lot of different academic clubs for the different majors that we offer. They tend to work with a lot of students in the schools and the community. We also have the Voice office on campus, which houses La Familia Latina, the Black Student Union. We've got Crew, Hillel, and the Caribbean Student Association. So there are a lot of different clubs and organizations. And if you want to start something and we don't have it, just you and 3 other students can do that. I think you'll find that at a lot of other schools. You just need a staff or faculty member to advise you. Greek life, we do have. The houses are off campus, and probably about 20% of our student population is involved in that. Athletics are really, really big. So whether you are a varsity athlete, you do intramurals, you're a club sport athlete, or you just love to go to games, school spirit is really big. We do have a phenomenal football stadium. Like I said, we're Division III athletics, so we're pretty competitive. There's over, I think, 340 schools in the Division III program in the nation, and we rank in the top 25 every single year. And we're usually in the top 20 for the SUNY Association. But if you're interested in playing a sport at Cortland, I highly recommend that you go to our athletics website and reach out to one of the coaches so that they know where the interest is coming from, because they do recruit a few years in advance. This is our Student Life Center. This is located down by where we have most of our athletic facilities. We do have about 2,500 people that use this every single day. You can find one of our all-you-can-eat dining facilities in here. We have everything that you would have if you had a traditional gym membership. We've got a rock climbing wall. We have a golf simulator. We have a gaming room in here. We have spin, all kinds of martial arts classes, yoga. There's so many things to do in here. We also have outdoor pursuits, and that's where, if you're interested in doing anything outdoors, you can go on one of the student-led trips. We are a Common App school. We are test optional this year. We are looking for a solid B student. We have early action, which is non-binding, and the deadline for that is November 15th. And then our regular decision priority deadline is December 1st. And for someone who is not a New York State resident, the total billed cost for the year, including our Future New Yorker award of $7,500, which is automatic for any student that does not live in New York State, the total billed cost to live on campus, eat on campus, take all your classes for a year full-time, and the fees is just under $25,000. And that doesn't include any merit scholarships or any type of financial aid. Again, here's my contact information. Something I like to add for students that are far out of state is that if you let me know if you're going to visit campus with a counselor or a parent or a guardian, we'll put you in a hotel for one night, so you can do any visit program of your choice on us. And there, like I said, there's a lot of other colleges in the area, so that's something good to do, and we're more than happy to help you out. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you so much. And a quick reminder to our participants that you can use the Q&A function if you have questions for any of our institutions here at any time during the presentations. Up next, we have Alaska Pacific University.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Jenny. Hi, everyone. My name is Campbell Cry, and I am a regional admissions counselor based in Minnesota for Alaska Pacific University. I work with undergraduate programs as well as with our nursing program specifically. So I'm just going to share my screen and we'll get going. So we are located, if you've never been to Alaska, in Anchorage, Alaska. Anchorage is south central, right on the coast. It's about 300,000 in population. So it's still in a city. We're close to the airport, which is convenient by the downtown, and you still have the convenience of your major roads. You can get to Target, Starbucks, all that important stuff, but also we're really close to a lot of neat, more rural towns and villages in Alaska. Our campus is a smaller field of 550 students enrolled. 64% of that is made up of our undergraduate programs, and then the rest is a mix of graduate programs and our dual enrollment high school program that we do accept out-of-state students as well. I always throw in for students as well. 85% of students do come from Alaska. However, don't let that scare you off. We have so many students that come from out of state all over the US, sometimes from Canada, and as well as international students. And being that we're a small university, we're able to keep that small student to faculty ratio of 7:1 and a really tight-knit hands-on feel. We do have 3 on-campus housing options, which I won't go too much in depth on, but we have our traditional dorm style suite, North Atwood, our apartment style called Seagullhorse, and then duplex homes called University Village. And it's a great way to get plugged into campus and be a part of the community with living on campus. As far as our academics, we keep information relevant to Alaska. So along with that, we are a place-based, experiential, and active learning campus. So we like students to get outside of the 4 walls of the classroom, really get hands-on, whether that is some, like you can see in some of the pictures, maybe being in the riverbeds, in atop a mountain. You might have class outside, or if you're a nursing program major, you might be in the clinicals in a hospital, or maybe you're in a local business doing an internship. So there's many ways that can differentiate and look what that can look like. There's a lot of support and respect on campus, a lot of support services, everything from tutoring services, counseling services, our writing center, career center, and a lot more. And we have a big focus on our student and our community. So you'll get to know the community and your faculty really well, as well as the other peers really quickly. We are broken up into 3 institutes. So our business and public policy, culture and environment, and health and wellness. And then these are the majors within those. Our top programs right now are our business program, marine and environmental studies, more so marine biology, just because we're so close to the ocean and there's a lot of great opportunities. Outdoor studies, which is like outdoor recreation or something along that line. Counseling psychology, and then our nursing program is really big right now. Campus life, there's a lot of ways that we instill campus life, and that's a big focus in just getting students involved and plugged in, especially if you're coming from out of state and coming to this state that's maybe miles and miles away from home. We want you to feel at home really quickly and get plugged in. So we talked a little bit about dorm life, but there's a couple different options, and that's a great way to get plugged in. A lot of on-campus and off-campus events, everything from movie nights, board game nights. They'll take students on hiking trips, doing different things in local towns. They might take you downtown, do open mic nights. So lots of different ways, and there's a lot of different clubs that you can join on campus. And then we do have an indoor rock wall and indoor pool. So we have rock wall or rock climbing clinics, and then we have open swim and swim lessons as well. So the steps to apply, you'll first apply online. You can go to our website, alaskapacific.edu/apply, or we do have our application on the Common App. It's $25 to apply. However, we do offer fee waivers. So if you qualify for that or are in need of that and that would help you out, reach out to us and we'd be glad to send you one. As far as your documents, we want your, we'll request for your official high school transcript, and we look for at least a 2.5 or higher GPA. If you have anything lower than that, we still encourage you to apply. We want to work with you because there's so much more than just GPA. We are test blind, so we don't require your test scores for admissions or financial aid purposes. And then you'll see the deadlines. Hopefully you can see the deadlines on the right-hand side for fall. Even though if you are a senior, May 1st has passed, we still encourage you to apply. The application is still open, and there's still lots of time to get registered for classes and get on your next steps. But do keep those deadlines in mind if you're a sophomore and junior students looking to apply either for fall or spring. And then as far as financial aid, I'll just briefly touch on this as I'm nearing the end of my time, but 93% of our students receive financial aid and scholarships. So the 2 big ones are our merit-based scholarship. Those range from $1,500 to $7,000, and those are automatic based on your acceptance. So if you have between a 2.5 and or 2.75 and a 4.0, you'll receive one of those scholarships. And then just for being an out-of-state student, you'll automatically receive $1,000. And then through FAFSA, if you apply after October 1st, there are a lot of different ways that you can receive additional aid through FAFSA, and then some other scholarships that we have. So reach out if you are interested in knowing more about that. Tuition per year is about $20,000, and that is the same in-state and out-of-state. But definitely reach out to us. I'll put my information in the chat. You can take a tour online, or you can come and visit in person if you're ever up in Alaska on a family trip. And you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at apu.admissions. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Up next, we have Full Sail University.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Jenny. Let me go ahead and share the screen. So if you have never heard of Full Sail University before, we are an entertainment, art, media, and technology school located in Winter Park, Florida. A little bit about Winter Park. We're very close to Orlando, close to the theme parks, close to a lot of beautiful beaches and springs. On our campus, we have some very, very, very cool features. What you see here is our brand new virtual production studio that just opened this past month. We have 4 live venues, over 110 classrooms, labs, and studios, including things like a smart lab, lots of music production labs, and art and filming locations. So I do want to show you a quick video of our school, kind of give you a little bit more of an overview, and then I'll give you some more information about our majors and what we do on campus. you can see at the end of that video, it said, if you are serious about your dream, we'll take your dream seriously. That's what we're all about at Full Sail. We are a school that thrives on pursuing creative dreams. So you can see in the video a little bit about our degree programs, but here they are again. These are all very creative areas. So you can see music, media, technology, things like that. We currently have over 50 degree programs you could choose from at Full Sail. Some are on campus, some are online, some are both. Those include graduate degrees as well. So I encourage you to look at our website, fullsail.edu, and if one of these little areas stands out to you, look into it more. And also you can ask me any questions that you have. But for all of our degree programs, they are all a bit different than you may be expecting. The first big difference is that each program takes half the time of a traditional university. So instead of taking 4 years to complete a bachelor's degree, it only takes about 20 months. So that's awesome. It frees up time where you can be pursuing your career rather than be taking gen ed courses that you probably won't apply to most of the hands-on part of your career anyways. The next thing is that we have a rolling admissions. So not only can you apply all throughout the year, but you can also start throughout the year. You don't have to wait for the traditional August start date. You could start November, February, whenever you want. We actually start a new class of students every single month throughout the year. We believe very firmly that we want to prepare you not only to do your future job, but also to get a job. So a big part of each of our undergraduates' experiences at Full Sail is to work with our career development department and do things like practice interview skills, learn how to write resumes, do some looking into what sort of job you would want to go into anyways. They work with you closely as a student and then also as a graduate with our industry outreach department, trying to help students find fits and jobs in the industry. And while they're still in school, each of our students works on 7 portfolio projects as well as 7 career module courses. That way they're prepared to get a job and also have something to show for their work whenever they are applying for a job. And our graduates have gone on to do some really cool things through the years. Just this past semester, we have had 119 of them that were credited on Academy Award-winning projects, 46 that were credited on Grammy Award-winning projects, and back in December, over 150 that were credited on Game Award-winning projects. So they've gone on to do some very cool things. And on our campus, students can be involved in a lot of clubs and organizations. The biggest one that I want to talk about is our Full Sail Armada. We have an esports league called the Armada. Students can compete in about 10 different games. Right now we have a big Super Smash Brothers scene, Rainbow Six Siege, Overwatch is another big one, Call of Duty. So if you're somebody that's a competitive gamer and you're pretty good, highly recommend that you check this out. Some students can receive scholarships to join and be part of the Full Sail Orlando Health Fortress team. The Fortress is where we compete on our campus, and it's currently the largest esports arena in the United States. Very cool. Esports arena on a college campus. Let me rephrase that. Last thing here is that if you are somebody who is interested in learning more about Full Sail, but you're not quite sure what you want to pursue as a career, one very cool way to learn more would be to do a Full Sail Lab summer camp. These are kind of like mini Full Sail sessions where you can learn a bit about our degree programs and the jobs that are out there while doing hands-on fun learning, either from home or on our campus in Winter Park, Florida. So if you're interested in a summer camp, they are week-long hands-on experiences, whether you're at home or on campus. You can go to fullsaillabs.com and I'll put that information in the chat as well. We also have quite a few scholarships to choose from. I'm running out of time to go over any in particular, but if you're somebody who's interested in technology, just know that there are 2 full ride scholarships, Women in Tech and Emerging Tech, and those deadlines are coming up on June 26th. So if you're interested in technology programs, check out our website for those. And that was my last slide. So thank you all for being here tonight. Please let me know if you have any questions about Full Sail University. And Jenny, thank you so much for facilitating.
Thank you. And that's a great reminder to our participants to use that Q&A function if you have questions for any of our presenters here at any time during their presentations. Up next, we have University of Minnesota Twin Cities.
Thank you, Jenny. I'm going to make sure I get this all set up correctly. And it looks like, strangely enough, PowerPoint wanted to start on the last slide. So you're going to see a little sneak preview before I get started. But as I get us all started, so hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. My name is Jacob Osterman. I use he, him as pronouns, and I am coming to you from the University of Minnesota Twin Cities. We are the flagship campus for the state of Minnesota. We are the Big Ten campus, housed right in the cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul. So we are a large state school, about 30,000 undergraduate students. We've taken about 6,800 students each year, and our students are driven to discover by getting perspective on our Earth with our globally recognized academic experiences, our world-class research with over $1 billion in research expenditures going through our university, our opportunities for a global perspective with our study abroad, and easy access to real-life experiences with the Twin Cities right in our backyard. For academics, we offer 150 majors and over 135 minors. We split them amongst 8 freshman admitting colleges. So we don't have a generalized studies program at all. When you're coming to our university, you're joining us straight into one of these 8 colleges. And the reason we do this is because then as soon as you arrive, tailorized support. So academic advising, career advising, even study abroad offices housed within each of these colleges. And we find that's a very big deal when we're talking about 4-year graduation rates and job placement rates when it's all said and done. Now, we are a big school, right? 30,000 undergraduate students. However, our student to faculty ratio is 17-1. I don't care what major, 17-1. 80% of our majors or 80% of our classes, are fewer than 50 students. 64% are fewer than 30. If you get a class that's bigger than 50, it's typically your first year classes. And if you get a class bigger than 50, you are guaranteed a discussion section or a lab section that will pair with the class, caps off at about 30, and be with a graduate student or professors in the same field to help you get your questions answered. We also realize, though, that for you to thrive on campus, you need to be able to find your community. Regardless of where you go to college, right now, I bet you where you are, you probably have a set kind of community, you have set friend groups, certain places you go, and wherever you go to college, whether it's right in your backyard or maybe to another state like us, you're leaving that and you have to kind of start over. And so we try very, very hard that no matter what you look like, what you sound like, who you're attracted to, that there is a space for you on our campus, whether it be through our Multicultural Center for Academic Excellence for our BIPOC and underrepresented students. Maybe you want some culturally competent counseling or peer advising for people that actually look like you or sound like you, or maybe for our LGBTQIA+ community, for our Gender and Sexuality Center of Queer and Trans Life, amongst other spaces as well. Another way you can also find community on our campus is with our over 900 student groups, more than 200 multicultural student groups, more than 50 Greek chapters, more than 50 intramural sports clubs. You're not going to be bored, y'all, because I guarantee you someone on campus has similar interests to you. We're also Minnesota's research institution. 90% of all the research done in the entire state of Minnesota goes through our system in some capacity. So there's a lot of opportunities for students to get involved in that as well. And then if you want to diversify your experience and see another part of our incredible Earth, we have over 180 programs in over 50 countries. 3 weeks, a summer, a semester. If you want to see another part of our incredible Earth, we're very proud that we can help make that happen. And then we are the Maroon and Gold State. We got 22 NCAA Division I teams in the Big Ten. And I'll tell you right now, I bet you if you hopped in a car and tried to drive through our state right now, you will see someone wearing that Block M, that maroon, that gold. We have some serious Gopher pride in the state. And I'll tell you, we have one of the oldest rivalries in the country with Wisconsin since 1890 as an example of some of the harsh rivalries we got in our sports. But the big thing about Minnesota that I just got to share is, we're a large flagship state school, right? And there's some other large flagship schools out there too. But what makes us unique is that we also do all that while having incredible cities immediately in our backyard. For example, this right on the right side here, that's called the light rail. It's a city train from Minneapolis, St. Paul, goes right in front of our student union. You hop it, you ride it 3 stops, 15 minutes, and you're downtown Minneapolis, that beautiful skyline you see on the left side. And then comes some immediate benefits. Maybe on the professional side, there are 16 Fortune 500 companies that are based in Twin Cities alone. That is the best per capita ratio for any major city in this country. We also have the largest career fair in the state, over 250 employers each year looking to bring in our students. But also, what about for fun, right? Maybe you're a sports fan, 8 professional sports teams right off this train. Maybe you want to see a concert, Legendary First Ave, the Armory from our intimate field. Maybe you're a theater goer. We got the Guthrie or the Orpheum from our national show. All of this is literally 15 minutes away on a train. You don't even need a car to make that happen. And that's a really rare thing that we take full advantage of. Now, I did not want to slide past the cost for you all. I want to be very clear about that. For our out-of-state, full everything. So this is tuition, room and board, meal plan, but all the kit and caboodle. There are 2 big numbers here. You see the 51,000 and the 53. If you're part of our College of Science and Engineering or Carlson School of Management or Business School, they charge $2,000 per year for their state-of-the-art facilities and labs. So they're the 53. Everyone else is 51. This is before any loans, work study, scholarships, all of that. When you apply, you are automatically considered for merit scholarships across the university, no additional essay, no additional form required. And our primary scholarship for out-of-state students is called the National Scholarship, which will range from $5,000 to $15,000 a year, each year for 4 years. Now, how to apply to our university, if you're still interested, is we're in 2 places. We're the Golden Gopher, which is our website, or the Common Application. We're cool with either. About 70% of our applications last year came from the Common App. Sounds great. Fill out your application, self-report, and then we are test optional through 2025. And if you want to ask about how that plays out, more than happy to talk about that. We have three deadlines: early action 2, and regular decision. We are a school that is equal consideration regardless of when you apply by. We are not a school that if you apply sooner, you're more likely to get admitted or scholarship or anything like that. No, the only difference is just you get to hear your admission decision sooner if you want to know. Just don't miss January 1. And it looks like my time is up, but with nursing, don't miss November 1st. And I'll put my information in the chat. Thank you all so much, and Sky Yuma.
Thank you. Up next, we have Washington University in St. Louis.
Awesome. Thank you, Jenny. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. My name is Sarah Myers, and I'm a Senior Assistant Director of Admissions here at Washington University in St. Louis, or as we lovingly call it, WashU. So let's start with talking about the city that we call home. St. Louis is a medium-sized city that gives you the best of both worlds. So you get a lot of big city events with small town feels. We have beautiful parks and museums, really passionate sports fans, and a fantastic food scene. And at the same time, we have a collection of individual neighborhoods, each with their own personality and kind Midwestern heart. Add in being one of the country's fastest growing cities for startup companies, and you get our really unique landscape that we call home. We want our students to get off campus and engage with the city around them and feel like St. Louis is their home too. So all of our students will receive a free Metro Pass, which will give you access to the light rail and public buses. And our campus has 2 Metro stops and 1 bus stop. So you can really easily connect to the airport, our medical campus, or if you just want to go downtown to our iconic Gateway Arch, which you can see on our doodle map here. On campus, our community is diverse, inclusive, collaborative, and creative. We have 5 undergraduate academic divisions, and we'll go in order of largest to smallest here. College of Arts and Sciences, the McKelvey School of Engineering, the Olin Business School, and the Sam Fox College of Art and Architecture. Our campus represents all 50 states and US territories and over 50 countries. This geographic diversity brings with it all forms of diversity, whether it be racial, ethnic, socioeconomic, religious, or political. Because we have so many unique students who have their own interests and lived experiences, we want to make sure that we treat them as the individuals that they are. This way of thinking actually leads us to our unofficial motto, which is to know our students by name and by story. Our community is one that values open, respectful, and honest discussions, and our faculty and staff challenge our students to be engaged in dialogue and feel really comfortable in the uncomfortable, which often results in students discovering more about themselves and the greater WashU community. WashU overall is a place of discovery. So students will choose one of those 5 academic divisions that we just covered as their home base, but the breadth of our university is available to all students, regardless of their background or initial academic interest. From our classes to research, study abroad, and extracurricular activities, you'll be able to combine your passions into one path that fits who you are. Most of our courses are pretty small, discussion-based with an average class size of about 26 students. We really want you to be an active participant in the learning process every day and support and challenge each other to think in new ways. Interdisciplinary study is probably the hallmark of a WashU education. Students are able to have multiple majors or minors across divisions, and about 80% of our students graduate with more than one program of study, which is a testament to both our multifaceted students and our very flexible curriculum. There is not a university-wide core curriculum, so you're going to have a lot of choices, but know that you're not in it alone. We provide all of our students a comprehensive network of advisors to make sure that you can find out what path is right for you. So you'll receive a 4-year advisor, a major advisor, a minor advisor, pre-professional, residential, and student advisors. and just a ton of experts here to help you find your way. And then we do have 11 faculty fellows who actually live side by side with our residents in our residential communities to further facilitate that community connection. We always want our students to continue learning outside of the four walls of the classroom. So all of our academic majors offer students the ability to study abroad, and about 40% of our students choose to do so. We are a tier 1 research institution, and we'd like to see our students taking advantage of the resources around them to pursue their intellectual passions. We have about 3,000 research projects that happen on our campus every year. And even if you're more entrepreneurial, you can run your own business through our student entrepreneurial program, or you can get involved in St. Louis through our Gephardt Institute for Civic and Community Engagement. You'll also have the opportunity to engage with over 450 clubs and organizations. We have a really fantastic student union who has a $3.5 million budget to fund student groups and activities. So if you want to travel to go to a competition or a conference, bring a speaker to campus, or if you just want to have food at your next group meeting, there's funding at the university level to do so. We have other activities too. We are a D3 varsity athletics school. We have 13 a cappella groups, major cultural groups for sorority and fraternity life, and some more niche groups, including our premier butter churning society. Just know that WashU students really love to be involved and come together for our traditions, like our semi-annual concert series called Wild, or 13 Carnival, which is the oldest student-run carnival in the country. Whatever our students do, they definitely give it their all. So this slide here will give you a little bit more information about our most recent incoming class. Do know that we take a holistic approach to admission. So we're going to look at every single piece of materials that you submit to us to determine the type of student you are, but also who you're going to be when you get to WashU. We are test optional through fall 2024, so keep that in mind. And you'll see our different decision plans on this slide here, 2 rounds of early decision, which are binding, and 1 round of regular decision. I hope that you're excited and want to connect with WashU in the future, and I'll put our general email in the chat. Thanks.
Thank you so much. And a reminder to our participants to use that Q&A function if you have questions at any time here. Up next, we have Florida Southern College.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sophie Talbert. I am an undergraduate admissions counselor at Florida Southern. I'm also an alum of the college myself, so I'm really excited to talk to you guys a bit more about Florida Southern. We are a small private institution located right in Central Florida, about halfway between Tampa and Orlando. We have just over 3,000 students. A majority of those are in our undergraduate population, with a few hundred in our master's and doctoral programs that we offer at the college as well. In terms of our student makeup, we have around 60% of our students coming from within the state of Florida, and the other 40% come from everywhere else in the world. We represent almost all 50 states, as well as around 50 countries internationally. I work with students specifically from the Mid-Atlantic region, and we usually do have a pretty solid chunk of students coming from Maryland and Virginia every single year. In terms of academics, we have over 70 different academic programs, which are across our 5 schools. No matter which major you pick, we are a liberal arts college at our core, so you're always going to have a very well-rounded education, being able to explore lots of different academic areas through your general education curriculum. Our most popular programs include biology, nursing, marine biology, anything within our business program as well. We also offer 16 different pre-professional tracks for students for things like pre-med, pre-dental. We have a really great advising program for all of our pre-professional students. And then we also offer several 4+1 programs in accounting, business administration, education, and industrial organizational psychology, which is essentially a fast track to finish with your bachelor's and master's within 5 years at Florida Southern. Across the board at Florida Southern, from your first year gen ed courses all the way to your senior capstone, something we really like to emphasize in the classroom is engaged learning. This is just going to be making sure that you are an active participant in the classroom, really being able to make those connections between what you're learning and what you could be doing as a career afterwards. So whether you're a communication student working on our daily news show, or one of our biology students doing research as soon as you step foot on campus, there's always going to be a way for you to get more engaged with your curriculum. This is made possible due to our small class size. Our average class size is around 17, and our student to faculty ratio is 14:1. 100% of our classes are taught by professors, so you'll never be taught by a grad assistant or a TA at Florida Southern, which is great. An extension of our 3 guarantees, extension of engaged learning are our 3 guarantees for students. So first off, studying abroad. This is made possible due to our Junior Journey program. This is a travel stipend that's partially embedded into the cost of a student's tuition, which they're able to use starting their junior year here at Florida Southern. These trips are 7 to 10 days long and are led by different Florida Southern faculty within different academic programs. So it's a great way to either delve deeper into your own major or maybe explore a new area. Second, participating in an internship. This is made possible due to our Career Center as well as academic advisors, really making sure that every single student has the opportunity to get an internship either directly in Lakeland or go explore in Tampa or Orlando as well. And lastly, graduating within 4 years is really important. This may seem like an obvious one since it is a 4-year degree, but the national average does have this taking longer than 4 years. So with our academic advisors, making sure that you are registering for the right courses every single semester, since it is required to meet with your advisor before you're even able to register for classes. You're never going to be surprised your senior year with classes that you haven't taken yet. And we're also very transfer credit friendly if you're coming in with any sort of dual enrollment, AP, IB, or ACE credit as well. So all of this translates into post-graduation success for our students. Just under 98% of our graduates are employed, are in military service, or accepted into grad school within 6 months of graduation. We also have 100% acceptance into medical school, as well as law school this past year, and into theology and philosophy graduate programs. Here at the bottom, we just have some examples of where our students have ended up after their time at Florida Southern as well. In terms of student life, we are a very community-based campus, so we have 93% of our first years living on campus, and we also have a 4-year housing guarantee. So you're always going to have a place to live at Florida Southern. This doesn't mean you're living in a dorm for all 4 years, since we do have several different apartment options as well for students. We are a Division II school, so we have 20 different varsity sports. We have 30 national titles, which is great considering our small size. And we also do have some club sport options as well, including ice hockey, which is actually one of our newest sports at Florida Southern and is one of our most popular ones for students to go watch as well. And every single year we are nationally ranked for our intramural sport participation as well. So that's a great way to just get involved and get active within our own campus community. Students at Florida Southern are very involved, whether that is in our 125 plus clubs and organizations, social, professional, Greek life, campus ministries. Students at Florida Southern are getting involved in not just one organization, but in 4 or 5 and having leadership roles within those as well, which I think really sets Florida Southern apart since our students are really dedicated to getting involved in our campus community. If you're interested in applying to Florida Southern, our application is 100% free. You can apply directly at Florida Southern's website or through the Common App or Coalition. We are a test optional school as well. And usually we roll out our decisions within 3 to 4 weeks after all of your materials have been submitted, which includes your high school transcripts, a personal statement, and as well as an academic letter of recommendation. At the bottom here, we just have our middle 50% profile for our class of 2025 as well. We have around a 61% acceptance rate. And lastly, cost is obviously a big consideration. So every single student is going to be automatically considered for merit-based aid based on their academic profile when they apply to the college. And we also are scholarship stackable friendly if you're coming in with any sort of external aid as well to the college. Thank you so much. If you're interested in visiting, you can go to flsouthern.edu/visit. And I will also put my contact information in the chat if anybody has further questions about how to apply to Florida Southern or anything like that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you to all of our schools here today for your wonderful presentations. We have some time for some Q&A, so I'll ask everyone to come back on camera now as we get set up. All right, so our first question for the evening is, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process? And we'll go in the same order, starting with SUNY Cortland.
So I guess the advice that I would give is, definitely visit, but if you're doing a visit, make sure that you understand that this is your time and it's our job as admissions people to make sure that when you're coming to campus, all of your questions are answered. So not only visit to figure out if you can see yourself there, but make sure that you know your worth and that you are valuable to us. So make sure that you're asking to talk with someone to get all of your questions answered before you leave, because we know that takes a lot of time and effort to do that.
Yeah, I would echo Shannon in just obviously working with admissions counselors. A lot of students I find don't reach out to admissions, and we want students to reach out because we want to be here to help and to be able to answer questions. But I won't echo too much of Shannon covered kind of that, but along with that, just have fun with it. I know there can be a lot of pressure, and I remember being in your shoes and feeling like, oh my gosh, all my friends know exactly what they're doing, exactly where they're going, and I have no idea. And just have fun. Look into all your options, look at the big schools, small schools, tour around, look at all the factors, costs, location, size, community, everything, and then kind of make a pros and cons list from there.
Just to kind of tag along with that, you said look at different types of schools, big and small. I love the assortment of schools on here tonight. It's such a good example of how to look. We're from far and wide from Florida. We've got Washington University, Alaska. We're from all over the place. So don't limit yourself on your college search. There are over 3,000 universities out there that you could eventually go to. One of them will be your home, and just try to look at as many as possible because there are some really good ones out there.
I would add, so for all of us, our titles are admissions counselors. We are not admissions recruiters in the sense that like, we're not asking, like, if you don't come to our campus, it's going to be okay. Like, we don't get paid on how many show up. No. So like with that whole aspect of reach out to us, the whole point of us is to help kind of guide you through this process. And in the end, like, if you reach out to me and we happen to get along, but in the end you don't choose Minnesota, that's perfectly fine. That's part of the job description now, and we are all fully comfortable with that. So I just want to really second what Campbell was saying earlier, that just please feel free to reach out to us. And in the end, if you don't go to our school, that's totally cool. We're just here to help you kind of navigate this really confusing process.
Yes to all of the things that my colleagues here have shared. I would also just add, slow down, take your time, don't rush through the process, but remember to center yourself. As someone else said, this is about you. So think about what you want. Where do you want to be? What do you want to study? Remember to keep yourself central to your search.
Echo what everyone else said. One thing I think is really important as well is to really connect with current students at the institution. So if you are able to visit for a tour, get your tour guide's contact information and reach out to them afterwards. Ask them follow-up questions that maybe you didn't want to ask in front of everybody on the tour. Student tour guides are a really great resource, and they can also maybe point you in the right direction. If maybe they don't share your major or similar interests, they know somebody at the college who does. So don't hesitate to use that as a resource as well.
That's all fantastic advice. I always like to also mention to stay organized. There's so much information. You've got so much information today. Some of the deadlines, early action were binding, some weren't. There were lots of different dates and deadlines you heard just from these 6 schools alone. So keep a spreadsheet, whether that's, on your phone, on your computer, written by hand, some way to keep yourself organized so that you can write down the school, write down their core deadlines, scholarship deadlines, and any other like pertinent information. And that way you're keeping yourself organized. You can write down notes too if you go on campus visits, just to keep yourself more organized. And with that, to also have a specific email address that you're using, and hopefully a professional sounding one, for this process, because you get so many email communications and you don't want to be bombarded with like your spam messages within your college decision, messages. So, that's just something I always like to add to, is just to stay organized within this process. So I wanted to thank all of our presenters for being here today. Thank you for taking time to let us know more about your schools. We really, really appreciate it. And can't wait. I want to go visit all of your campuses as well. They sound fantastic. And so I want to thank you also, participants, for joining us today, our parents, our counselors, our students. Thank you so much for joining us. When you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 5-question survey. So we'd really appreciate any feedback that you can provide. And we encourage you to check back to the schedule and sign up for more sessions that are happening right after this one. You'll be able to find this session's recording as well as all of the other session recordings at strivescan.com/PCACAC. That's strivescan.com/PCACAC. Thank you very much. Have a great evening and best of luck on your college search process.